Hi everyone, this is your girl Kaydian K here today with a developmental session here packed just for you. I'm your host, Kaydian, and it's actually going to be a wonderful session. I hope that you will get a thing or two that you're definitely able to take back to your personal or your professional life to see how best you are able to enhance yourself, your capabilities, and of course, unleash your God given potential. So I'm actually loading my file here. I typically do podcast sessions. Recently, I decided to branch out and do what do you know? YouTube videos to share and for you guys to see the face behind all of these wonderful things happening behind the scenes. Now, for today's session, our objective is really and truly to empower individuals with their knowledge and skills to create and enhance professional visibility. It's also for you to be open to new opportunities. Many times we shy away from opportunities, and I want to encourage you not to do that. Jump on any opportunity you get after you consult with yourself in reflection mode. Self actualization and reflection is very important. If you have a high being, consult with them just to see. If you have people across in your life, you want to also talk to them and hear what they have to say. Now, that's our objective. But of course, our aim at this moment is really and truly to guide individuals to unlock their full potential and leverage the power of self actualization for your personal and, of course, your professional growth. It's really the intro here. Why am I doing this? I'm actually a developmental coach. Currently, my job role is global leadership development and career manager. So I don't just work in Jamaica. My work is global. So I do have clients in US, Guatemala, and also in the Philippines. A larger footprint in the Philippines, especially for the company that I currently work with and for. All right, so today I actually want to go through LinkedIn profiles. And it's very important for us to have a LinkedIn profile. I recently did a session with members of a training team, and most of them weren't familiar with LinkedIn. Those who had a LinkedIn profile, they had a number of things missing, and I challenged them to really and truly get it done within a week. Some have taken the challenge and have already updated their profiles. Now, why is it important for us to have a LinkedIn profile? What's even LinkedIn? So, LinkedIn in a nutshell, it's actually a networking landscape similar to what you'd probably have, like you have your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, where you post videos and stuff in a social space. LinkedIn, however, is the professional space of it. So a lot of people will be networking. They'll be reaching out to connect, to get tips, tricks from you based on your expertise. You might even get job offers from recruiters who are actively looking for people. Again, they're recruiters. Most times they're actively looking. They're scouting for the best talent. So that is what LinkedIn is all about. So you typically want to have an ideal profile that will be effective to showcase your professional identity. And I stress the professional because it is critical for you to have a professional identity on LinkedIn. So for your TikTok, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever it is, you want to keep it on the social scene, right? But LinkedIn, mm-mm, straight professionalism as best as possible. Yes, you will come across some who are not so professional. You don't want to be one of those persons, right? So you want to be on the safer side because you never know what might happen, right? I've gotten job offers, many job offers on LinkedIn. I've helped a number of people on LinkedIn, free services. I've spoken to a number of people outside of my sector, different avenues, and it has helped me to be a better person. It has also helped me to gain more exposure, more experience in actually what I do, my craft. So try it and see, right? So today we'll be looking at some ideal tips that will help you to have a more personalized brand for your LinkedIn profile. Now, first and foremost, I want to share with you that LinkedIn is free for you to join unless you want to do some upgrades. That's up to you, right? So you can definitely just type into Google your URL, LinkedIn, 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 and you'll be able to locate it. If you already have a profile, kudos to you. We'll be going through some tips, right? Some elements to definitely look at how you're able to recreate or enhance your profile. If you have them, good job. There may be a thing or two that you can definitely enhance your profile with. So let's get straight into it. First and foremost, you have to have a profile picture, right? It's like you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook. Even your WhatsApp, you have a picture typically. So you definitely want to have a professional photo on your LinkedIn profile. You want to be able to dress appropriately, maintain good eye contact with the camera that you're actually using. You may want to ask someone to take it for you, or you want to take it at a slant view if you are doing it by yourself. You also want to keep a more of a solid background for your profile photo, or you can even go as far as to get a professional headshot done or professional photo taken. Where you dress in your nice jacket and tie, your nice dress, skirt, whatever you so desire. Something that really say that you are professional in your space. Now, professional doesn't have to be the traditional way of professionalism. We have business casual. You just want to dress in a way that says I am professional. That's really it. No, nothing like rocket science in that case. So after we have a profile photo, which is standard, you want to get into an headliner. You definitely want to create a concise and compelling headline that definitely reflects your current role, your areas of expertise, and of course, your career goals. And I'll be showing you my profile shortly. So you're able to look at what I definitely have. And you can then look at and see what I don't have. And then say, okay, Kaydian, you don't have this or you don't have that, that sort of thing. And, having a headline, it actually helps recruiters, networkers, whenever they're looking for specific keywords, you may just pop up. All right. One of the things that I see a lot of times people are missing are summary. Your summary really speaks of your background. It's an overview. When I say background, it's your professional background. No, I don't need to know about what your life was with. Your life was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where you go. Keep it professional. Right? Remember, it's a professional platform. You want to share about your aspirations, your achievements, and focus on your unique value. That's how you want to position it. What are you really able to contribute to organizations? What are you really able to contribute to an individual who may reach out to you for help in that case? So you want to keep it very tight, definitely concise, right? And I'll show you an ideal example later on. I always say keep it professional and definitely utilize keywords. It's critical. You'll thank me later for it. And you want to then move on to your experience. You want to showcase your experience in reverse order. You want to indicate the company name, your job title, how long you've actually been there by listing out the dates. It definitely helps. It also tells a potential recruiter or a potential company. Let's be real. If you apply for a job in an organization, sometimes you look and you see people are checking out your profile on LinkedIn, but you don't even know who they are because, hey, they got a paid subscription. They're at the premium level. So they're able to see your profile, right? Um, and you definitely want to indicate any responsibilities, any accomplishments, anything of the sort that highlights and tells your story when it comes on to your experience. It's not just your experience professionally that you're able to add, you're also able to add your voluntary experiences, but we'll touch base in that shortly. So you add your experience, then you go into your skills. Now, a lot of companies are hiring for emotional intelligence. They're hiring for attitude and aptitude, not just you having a degree, a master's, a PhD, a bachelor's, and associate. It's not just that. It's not just who you know. See, personality and character, it speaks volume. So highlights your skill sets. Showcase that. How savvy are you when it comes onto a computer? How are your problem solving skills? How is your critical thinking skill? Focus on those two things, right? Then we're gonna go into the educational background. You want to showcase where you went to school. Now, if you're young, you're 18, you want to put your high school. But typically for LinkedIn, you start from your tertiary level onwards because it's also a way where you connect with people who have been to that institution or not. I always say if you work at a primary school or an elementary school, kindergarten school, then you highlight that. Not for your education, but in your experience aspects of things. You rarely ever find anybody on LinkedIn, but maybe you want to be one of the first to add your primary or your elementary school. I typically say keep away from that because you want to be very keen with who is going to be looking at your profile and also who you are allowing in your space as a connection. And I'll share an example afterwards. Right? So you want to list your educational background there. Next, you want to talk about your accomplishments. So any volunteer work, any projects, any publications that you have done, you want to highlight those, right? And it speaks volume about you as an individual, I must say, because it's telling that you are rounded. Now, if I was actually an employer and I'm looking for someone or a recruiter, I'm gonna look for somebody who's rounded, who has a very good attitude, work ethics, their demeanor in that interview. And of course, when I do my checks, I want to check what's your profile too. I use LinkedIn a whole lot, even though I use the free version, because before I hire someone, I want to see who the person is outside of work, for various reasons, because some of the times your personal life can get into your work life. So I want to see how you are, right? What are you doing on social media? What are you doing on the internet? So call me a stalker. I'm my own good. I guess because I've done some aspects of recruiting over the years, it takes me on in that aspect, that realm, right? So you want to go to recommendations. So you want to get recommendations from any colleagues, any supervisors, anyone that you have actually worked with who can attest to your skill sets, your work ethics. It's critical, right? Now, as I have here, these endorsements provide credibility and enhance your professional reputation. So someone that you have worked with in the past and you know they speak highly of you, then you want to indicate that person or, ping them, connect with them, ping them, whatever. Try to get the recommendation from then it's critical, it's important. No, I always say to people, you write your own story. So if you weren't a good worker, listen, if you come and ask me for a recommendation, I must say as if because you write your own story, right? So you want to be mindful as to who you're asking to help write your story. Now we go into multimedia content. Some of us may, some of us may not. It depends on the work that you're doing, your line, your field in that case. If you're someone like me, I'm a podcaster just the same. I'll have links to my podcast. I will have links to videos I would have done, anything of that sort. So you want to highlight those. So that piece, you can definitely drop your link on your LinkedIn. And so people are able to look at your work, and you never know, you might just get a freelance job or something on the side to kind of supplement your income, something that you can probably put down, save towards retirement, you name it. You can do it. You can probably even help someone. You don't know as yet. You want to be able to do that. Another thing that we have on LinkedIn that you're definitely able to take advantage of is LinkedIn groups and interests. I always say there are companies you're going to be interested in, there are groups you're going to be interested in. So choose carefully. I'm a part of many groups. I have many interests because I look at different companies. I don't just limit myself to the sector that I work in. I want to know what's happening in other sectors, other regions, and stuff. So you want to get out there. You want to be involved, right? So it's critical. And you'd be surprised at the different groups and interests there are. There are groups of mental awareness, disabilities, you name it. Like, there are groups. You can definitely check them. And then we have networking. You don't just want to have a profile, you want to connect. You want to actively connect with people and network. Now, here's where the trick is. Just as though you are careful and cautious to add someone to your Facebook, to your Instagram, to your TikTok, to your Twitter, whatever there is, it's also the same for your LinkedIn. A lot of people will be reaching out to you in a professional space. Some might not be looking for a professional space. Some may want to pass their boundaries with you. So it's important for you to lay that foundation, right? So typically when someone connects with me, I'll be, hi, thank you for connecting. I hope you're having a good day. We'll talk soon. There are another time, especially if I'm doing a lot of connections and I'm ticking and saying whatever, someone might say, hi, how you doing? And I'll respond. If I realize that it's not something professional, I'll keep it under, I'm ahead out, I set the foundation from there, letting them know and then, oops. Also, I've come across people because, again, I'm a podcaster, people that don't know what my podcast really is about. And then I get a lot of people who know what my podcasts are about and they want to sell. My latest encounter, and I did a post on LinkedIn about it. There's also scammers on LinkedIn. So it's not just scammers on the internet, in regards to your email, those calling your cell phone. There are scammers on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and also LinkedIn. So you have to be very careful. Follow your gut feeling, your instincts. It's critical, especially as you do your network. Critical. Just as though you post on Facebook and all of those wonderful social media sites, it's important for you also to regularly update and share information on your LinkedIn page. You want to keep our stuff things. You want to keep your page active just the same. And you definitely have to keep your profile up to date and regularly visit it. Look at any progress, make any adjustments as you so desire. You want to do those things because it definitely helps. right? It definitely helps, and I recommend that. So, in a nutshell, it is really and truly important for you to have a LinkedIn profile, especially if you're a business person. If you're going to school, you're in tertiary level, rather at the tertiary level, you want to, create a profile, get yourself more marketable, create a brand for yourself. You are your own brand. I promise myself not to turn this into a podcast session. To make it as short as possible, I'm gonna do that. So high level, we currently looked at what is important for you to have a LinkedIn profile. Typical tips that we recommend is to have a profile photo, a headliner, a summary, add your experience, your skills, your knowledge in regards to your educational background. Most definitely, you want to highlight your accomplishments. You want to get some recommendations from those that you have worked with, you have partnered with over the years. You want to add any multimedia content that you may have. If you don't have any, that's totally fine. And you definitely want to be a part of groups and also adding things of your interest. LinkedIn is all about networking, but of course, you want to network in a safe space. And also, you want to be cautious of culprits that may prey upon you, right? And regularly update your profile. Regularly update your profile. And that's really the end of what we have here. The next thing that I'll be doing is I'll actually be showing you my LinkedIn page. So you are then able to see what we're looking at for an ideal LinkedIn page. And I'm just loading it here. So this is actually my LinkedIn page. And this is my LinkedIn page. So this is I'm going to go to my profile. All right. And this is me. That's my photo. You can see it right there. I do have a background. I have a background photo just the same, and it really talks about me personally. I have my name, and I have the names that I prefer for someone to relate to me. This is my headliner. In that case, dynamic motivational podcast, the author and content creator, and the list goes on. I actually have my about, which is really and truly a summary of my accomplishments, my experience. I have all of that right there. I go into my experience, and if you look at it, my experience, I do have what I'm capable of doing, and I will talk about the time I've worked at the company, what type of job I'm actually doing. Is it a remote or is it on site? Because it's very important for you to have that, especially since we're coming out of the COVID period. I have what I currently do and most definitely my skills. Now, if you look at it, my skills will vary. This is my multimedia content, which is really my podcast. And if you click on it, it will take you to the podcast site, which is Spotify, and it will showcase all the episodes I've done over the years. And of course, it have the questions and all these wonderful jazz. And of course, the last podcast I did was actually July 1st. So it varies, and there are different platforms you're able to listen to the podcast on. So that's something you want to be able to check out if you so desire. While this loads, let's continue. So I've looked at those parts so far. Now we want to look at the recommendation piece. I think my internet is a little slower than usual. um, but no worries. Still taking my time. All right. So these are uh, my skills for and the fact that I've been endorsed by people that I would have worked alongside with, people who have seen the work that I've done over the years, and recommendations that I've received, recommendations I've given. So it varies. Courses I've actually completed would fall in your educational piece of things, and my interest are who I love to follow, the companies I follow, the groups that I'm a part of. I'm a writer, so clearly I'm a very big advocate for mental health awareness, newsletters, schools that I actually follow. So it really and truly varies. And if you go to my network, you'll see if I have any pending, and how much connections I have 1,005. Again, I'm very skeptical when it comes on to connections because I am protective of my space and myself. So I actually want to share something that I recently was making reference to you guys about the post that I made. See, I made this post 2 weeks ago in regards to, being very vigilant of the fact that, and see, it's got 308 people came across it, and I got 8 people who reacted to it. And I really had to do this because I kept getting it. And there was one particular person who was just very adamant I should pay to get my podcast produced in the way that they assume it should. So, you have to be very vigilant, careful, and stuff. So, this is what a typical LinkedIn profile should look like, where it's very detailed and it showcases you. Now, I'm not expecting you to have a profile as detailed as my profile, but it's definitely worth a shot for you to update your profile, connect, make posts. You'll be surprised who your post can definitely connect, impact, and leave an imprint on the heart, right? So you want to definitely do that. Until next time, I hope you actually found a thing or two that you're able to definitely use to add to your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, definitely check it out and see how best you're able to get one, especially if you're in the professional space, if you're at tertiary level education, you're in school, get a LinkedIn profile just the same. um, we'll talk another time. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Love you all.